Hello and welcome to Monday Mindfulness. Here we do all kinds of practical exploration of mindfulness and look at different ways that we can apply it meaningfully in our lives. And sometimes we do a practice where we actually sit down and do a seated meditation. Sometimes we look at different insights and different ripple effects that happen with mindfulness. And today I'm going to focus more on a situation that I've noticed and just seeing how these dynamics of mindfulness have been really useful in my life in noticing the different dynamics that are popping up and working with them and being able to honestly meet them with respect and with consciousness, with being able to make conscious choices from what I'm experiencing. So this has all started from a bureaucracy merry-go-round that I've been dancing for the last year and a half, and I'm so close now. I'm within days of having a permesso de sedere, which is it's been a work in progress, and the business stuff is still kind of stabilizing, but it's very close. All of it's coming together. So, it's been very easy to be able to kind of put things off or think that, in the future, this will be coming to service and having all of these ideas and the mind wanting to dramatize things about this whole process and struggle and all of that, and wanting to make myself a victim, wanting to make myself a victor, like something that's better than something else. And all of these different dynamics have gone in phases through this last year and a half. And now it's coming to crunch time. And it's amazing how when things start to get real, the body starts to communicate and kind of step up its game as well. So I've noticed that there's been this situation with the new website where I've done a lot of planning and a lot of strategy and a lot of mapping out and a lot of looking to try to really understand who I'm serving as I launch this new website, new organization, everything like that. And really start to consolidate and clearly define what I'm offering here and how I'm offering it. And that has been kind of scary. The mind wants to distract, the mind wants to stay free to a degree, because part of this whole clarity and locking things down for this website is kind of getting myself into this frame or structure. And I feel like it's very valuable and important to be able to dance in that frame and to be able to create that for myself. It helps to make clarity for me. It helps to make clarity for you. It helps to make it easier for people to support the process. And it also gives me the foundation to be able to support others as well. So it's fundamental to me actually stepping up in the way that I feel guided to. But also it's scary. I lose a degree of the freedom and flexibility and schedule flexibility as well that I had in the past. And it's just an interesting thing to notice, because any change is scary for the mind and body generally. So there is going to be some degree of freak out when we change things. And especially to change things where we step into a spotlight, where we have to step up to something and really build solid trust in ourselves, it can be very scary. And there can be a lot of mechanisms that pop up where we want to shrink, where we want to distract ourselves, where we want to make excuses. And it's been a real blessing to be able to see this and just witness it in the body, especially early on. And by early on, I mean early in the day. I do my morning meditation. I've been doing a morning meditation starting in bed and then rolling out into yoga and other things after that. But in my in-bed meditation, as soon as I wake up, I can feel the influence of some of these things in the body. So the emotions of, oh my God, I'm stepping into something that feels big. And my mind is tempted to dramatize it. And I feel this urge to shrink, or this urge to step aside and kind of just let the opportunities to pass. There is an urge to kind of just shrink long enough until the spotlight's gone. And then at the same time, there's a deep feeling of inspiration and the things that I'm passionate about. Working with kids is something that I'm really excited about, but also working with people who work with kids, because then we can share these tools and nourish many, many more kids and help this next generation to be more self-aware, more vibrant, more free to step into their passions. And for me, this is very, very valuable and huge to be able to share. And at the same time, I can make myself a drama queen about that as well. And basically forget who I'm actually serving and why. And that's one of the reasons why not only am I doing this morning check-in with, okay, what influences am I working with here this morning? I've also helped to nourish the ones that I really feel genuinely passionate about and are in line with my integrity. So now I've started to go through and unpack and get things sorted here in Cluj. One of the key things that I've put on my desk is pictures that I've been given by kids over the years. And that's a huge inspiration for me. It reminds me of why I'm doing this and why I'm committing to this and why I'm spending a lot of energy, why I'm doing some of the tough things, why I'm feeling the fear and taking a step anyway. And their well-being, and also being greedy, my well-being of feeling like, man, look at the difference this body has made. Or not made, but contributed to. There's an essence of that, but also like the whole ecosystem that this body and all others live in changes because of these kids making shifts as well. Everything has an effect on the generations moving forward, some little, some great, and not that any change or anything is any more or less important, any better or worse. My mind can try to make it that, but it doesn't make it so. And this is just an interesting dynamic to be able to see these two wolves within, and to be able to meet them both with respect and love is game-changing. And that to me is the essence of mindfulness. That to me is one of the hugest benefits of mindfulness, that these things can be seen and listened to without needing to be dismissed or judged, and we can still make conscious choices without being a slave to either one. Because if I'm over-glorifying and making it all about, trying to impress myself, someone else, yada yada, that isn't grace. And if I'm shrinking and hiding and blaming and getting resentful, then that's also not my integrity and not my grace. It is what it is in the moment, and it's beautiful and it's divine and it is what it is. But if I can make a conscious choice with some degree of awareness of what integrity feels like for me, then it's going to be that middle path. It's going to be that graceful service. And this is what the essence of this practice is. So what I've been doing is being very aware of that in the morning, being aware of what my drivers are. And what I'm doing is I'm investing in the drivers that are feeling in line with my integrity to the best of my ability in a graceful way. And at the same time, as I'm checking in the morning, I'm listening to this urge to shrink. And I'm saying, darling, what's happening here? What do you want here? And does it want safety? Does it want to slack off? Or more to the point, slack off's a bit judgmental from what I'm really wanting to say there, but do I want some extra holiday? Do I want to to empower others so I don't need to be in the limelight so much. And to really be honest with myself about what I'm feeling, I feel like it's more about the change and feeling like I've got a little bit of a safety net that I've lived in over the last year and a half, and just that stepping out of that is a little bit scary. And it's been a bit of habit building to be able to start really committing to the things that I'm passionate about again in a whole and full way, and start to be able to meet goals and step up and be honest with partners as I'm kind of making this transition. So it's been a few different dynamics there, and really, really important dynamics to be listened to. So once I've listened to that, and I'm not particular about which order this comes in, it's usually varying depending on the morning, I can also look at, okay, what are my inspirations? And what are they saying to me? Where are they coming from? As I said before, some of these inspirations may be very deeply rooted in the ego. And there may be belief systems under both types of inspiration. And it's interesting to be able to sit with those and say, yeah, what is genuine service from this? Like, I know that the ego wants to kind of, glorify some of this stuff. And I understand that there's motivations there to try to feel safe, to try to feel like there's some support there. And that's another thing that has helped to amplify some of these things on both sides of the spectrum, is in this year and a half of uncertainty and bureaucracy, there's also been a sense of starvation, not only in service, but also in being able to feel supported. And I've had amazing support along the way, and I'm really grateful for that. But feeling like I'm willing and open to receive, and also having that giving-receive cycle being fluid, that hasn't really come together fully yet, and I'm still learning how to adapt to that again. So that's another part of the change that I'm feeling like is settling in as these two dynamics show themselves in many different ways, and then finding that graceful middle ground and starting to identify actions that really serve that graceful middle ground, and committing to them and showing up for them. And that's an art form of building that habit, and it's about showing up each day, going through this process of honoring these dynamics, and then saying, okay, what can I do my best with today? What's that middle ground, that graceful integrity that feels like a sweet spot for me? And that may change from day to day, but what I'm doing is I'm building in practices, and you could call them practices, you could call them actions, that actually step into that integrity, and I'm doing my best to be mindful and conscious of the dynamics of that. So I'm continuing to check in with these spectrums, while also doing my best to stay centered and aligned with sustainable integrity. And that means sometimes, I want to kind of shout things from the rooftops and announce things very early, often before they're ready, like fully polished. And this integrity, this middle ground, actually is, okay, let's take a breath before we jump into anything, and really be sure that we're in alignment, and that we've taken the time to polish these things. And we can also go to the point of over-polishing, which can be the sabotaging side. So it's really finding that sweet spot. And I'm not expecting to hit the sweet spot on any given day. It's just a best effort, and being as honest and conscious as we can with it. So what's helped me is to look at the phases of what's happening, and try to get as much structure and clarity as possible. So I've been keeping my to-do lists very simple and very targeted in that area of integrity. And my job right now has been building the website. So that's been reviewing the strategy, better understanding what the people who are going to this website may need, and looking to meet their needs as effectively and easily and usefully as possible. And then going in and working out exactly, okay, what's needed to deliver that, breaking it down into chunks, and just taking those steps. And it's been very easy at times to try to distract myself and make it about other things and just start to get off target, and just coming back to that simple to-do list, those simple things, and feeling the fear and showing up anyway, and being honest with myself right through the process. Because, sometimes I might overcorrect, and then once I'm done, it's like, okay, now let's kind of adjust a little bit, and tomorrow I can be more in alignment. And it's just about loving ourselves enough to be able to dance this freely without needing to beat ourselves up about it. So this awareness of these dynamics of the pushes and pulls that we have, and being able to consciously choose and make a best effort towards a middle path that really nourishes us. It's been amazing to be able to take space to look at what influence the mind is having in this, what influence the body is having, the emotional habits, and also the people that are surrounding me, what influence they're having, but also the environment, and just in a way that we're just witnessing what's happening, witnessing how the season is affecting us, and all of these different subtle dynamics, and then also the underlying belief systems, to be able to examine them. And I feel blessed in a way that I've had a few concussions in my martial arts history, not nearly as many as I'd say most kickboxers or boxers have had, but there's been studies that have shown that people who have had concussions or a concussion history tend to be a little more conservative about change, and a little more prone to seeking comfort and addiction, and a lot of these controlling behaviors, sometimes irrational attempts to control, can happen more with people with concussions. So maybe I've just got the volume turned up a little bit on that as well. I'm not recommending getting concussed. You can practice mindfully perfectly well with or without concussion. But this may be another factor as well. So there's been all of these different nuances that just make up the flavor of this moment and this opportunity, this opportunity to choose. And this brings me to another very, very powerful practice that is part of this daily practice of tuning into all of these dynamics and finding that middle path, is really this walking this middle path and finding some sort of dynamic that feels sustainable helps us to be able to wake up. And this is from a Native American lineage perspective, to wake up with a smile and go, yeah, this is a very, very beautiful day. I'm grateful. And even to the point of, today is a good day to die if that's what it is. I'm okay with that. I'm okay to live today, because unless I've made peace with death, how can I possibly live fully? So this is a beautiful way to live when we can build this habit. And it's graceful, it's empowering, it's gratitude inducing. It's really, really beautiful. So not only on a daily basis can we say, yeah, today is a beautiful day, but we can also go from a big picture perspective and look at, okay, long term, the choices that I'm making today and the habits that I'm building today, how do they look in 30 years? How do they look on my deathbed? This body is here temporarily, and how's it going to dance here if I build these habits? So if I build a shrinking habit, we can do all of these things in phases, but if I really want to commit and make choices that narrow that path and continue that path along a shrinking habit, what's the long-term ramifications of that? And how do I feel about these choices now that I'm making through the morning and through into the day, building the momentum of the day? And the same thing is for the shining. If we want to shine and create the things that we're passionate about and find that middle path and live it more and more, how does that look on the deathbed? And that just makes these choices more and more clear for me. It makes the decisions easier. So this is a really, really beautiful way to build a day-to-day momentum. So if it starts in the morning, and I tend to invest more energy in the morning, and then it naturally ripples through the day. But if we can build these habits, and it changes from day to day, and it often becomes a pattern of, if I invest in this in the morning on Monday, then on Tuesday it's a little easier. And then on Wednesday, all kinds of things collaborate to make that even easier. And then it becomes more and more of a natural habit and natural pattern and a routine. So this has been something that's been super scary to step into. It still feels scary. And I just feel that seeing the big picture, there's very little choice. All I can do is honor these urges and these dynamics on all of the spectrum, and be able to really genuinely have the conviction to show up, to have the courage, to have the passion and the motivation to do these little things that add up into a happy deathbed. To be able to just be super, super grateful for this opportunity to share together with you right now. It's a blessing. It's beautiful. It's something that I'm really honored to be able to collaborate in. And this life, this existence has been a real honor, and I really hope to be able to share and serve and enjoy and celebrate with the breaths that this body has as much as it can. And to be able to just honor all aspects of what's going on as they're unfolding, and to see the beauty in all of these teachers across the spectrum. So I'm really grateful to be able to share this with you, to be able to share this experience, and to be able to learn to give and receive fully again. And yeah, if you're interested in kind of sharing this path together, and to be able to empower not only the people that I'm sharing with, but just empower the community in general, to be able to find this flow and to really take this momentum and to sail it, I'd really be excited to be able to share that together as well. So thank you so much for your time. It's been an honor to be able to, have this experience together. And let's enjoy our middle path and our surfing of integrity together. Love you guys. Mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See ya.